So today I decided I'm going to move the sturgeon into this 500 gallon. He's big enough for these guys, and he'll filter feed like the giraffe cat, so I don't see any problems with him getting food. He's outgrown his 125. He's probably in the, oh boy, 14 to 16 inch range now. Ever since I put that oxalotl in there, he's been eating much better, and he hit a huge growth spurt. He probably put on 4 inches in the past couple months. I've got a closed loop air system here, as you can see. I'm just going to plumb into it, and I'm going to run 3 extra bubblers. He's going from cold water, right around 60 degrees, to around 75, 76. That's what these tanks stay at, with just running one heater. It kind of keeps their metabolism a little slower, but I don't have any issues with feeding, and it's not particularly terribly cold. So the extra air will help the sturgeon with the warmer water, and I'm going to do about a 2-hour acclimation process, since it's going to be about a 15-degree jump. But I think he'll be happy in here. He'll have more room. He's kind of developed patterns of how he swims in there, where he goes from one side to the other, and he kind of jaunts up and then dives down to get turned around. So since I don't have my pond done, I think this will be a great home for him until he can move outside, and then I'll reacclimate him to cold water. Hopefully it's not too stressful on his system. Alright, so I got these 3 bubblers in, and got the sponge filter pushed back. There's a wave maker up there that is directly over the one that's kind of helping distribute the oxygen, but if this isn't enough oxygen for this tank, I don't know what is. I'm gonna move some of the sturgeon's water into this cooler, and I'm going to do a water change on the 125 at the same time, and just kind of start moving water over. But the plan is that I'm going to fill this up with enough of his water that he'll be good for a while, and I'm just going to let the room temperature kind of warm it up, and maybe put a cup or so of the 500 gallon water in at a time to help kind of acclimate him. I did a test on both the tanks. They're both sitting at the same parameters, but I'm still going to do the traditional acclimation. The biggest thing is just bringing him up to temperature as slowly as I can. I want to do this over a couple hours or more if I can. It's about 80 degrees in this room, so that's going to help push that water up a little bit quicker, but I guess we'll just see how it goes. So I've got about 15 gallons of his water in. I took one of the sponge filters from the 500 gallon. Actually, it's the one out of the puffer tank, but it's the same water. And I'm going to go ahead and run that filter on that. And I've got fresh water coming from the tap to top this thing off. And I'll go ahead and hook up my thermometer, and we'll see how fast the temperature rises with just the ambient air and adding water from the 500 to acclimate. Sturgeon's moved into the cooler. Current water temperature is 61.3. So he's sitting right by the dehumidifier that's blowing warm air right into this. So we'll see how quick this water warms up. He did get a little bit of a little biff on his nose, but I think he'll be okay. I mean, these guys have lived for about 5 million years, so I think being netted is going to be fine. So we'll continue to update. We'll see how long it takes for the water to warm up, and hopefully he'll be in the 500 gallon by sometime late tonight. It's been a little bit over an hour. I just scared the shit out of him when I added more water, so that's why he's breathing heavy. We're up to about 63 degrees. I've added just about 3 quarts of water to this to help acclimate. These assholes have already knocked 2 of the bubblers off. I attached them just straight to the tile, which I knew was a little rough, so I'm not surprised they came off. I'll try just mounting them straight to the side of the tank. The other one's just up here in no man's land, so I get to crawl my fat ass back up there again and reattach them. But I see they moved the filter off the wall again too, so Might have to rethink this for the bubblers, or I guess they can just kind of move around as they want. So stay tuned. So we're about 3 hours in, and we've only gained just about half a degree or so. Come on, little dude, get off of there. So acclimation's taken a little bit longer than what I would have liked. So I'm thinking what I might do is raise this whole thing up and run a aquarium hose like this as a siphon, and then run another one back into the sump, so I can just kind of warm water in, old water out, and I can acclimate the temperature like that, and that will probably take a few hours. This guy's just not quite getting this. It's kind of the hard part about these sturgeon is they can't swim backwards. That's the main reason why I'm moving them out of the 125. This 500 is 8x4. He's got plenty of room to move around in there. So stay tuned. So we're a little over 3 hours in on the acclimation. We're finally breaking the 70-degree mark. I decided not to do the siphon thing, lift it up, just because I didn't want to stress them out anymore. So I've just been taking a few gallons out and putting a few gallons in, raising the temperature about a degree or so every 15 minutes. So I'm just going to continue to do this until we're within a few degrees of that 75, and then I'm going to let her loose. All right, it's kind of weird seeing him in this tank. I'm sure he's gonna take a little while to kind of figure out his boundaries and stuff. These tiles are 12 inches, and he's actually a little bigger than I thought he was. I would think he's closer to the 18-inch mark. But I'll keep an eye on him for the rest of the night. The acclimation process probably took, oh boy, closer to 5 hours to bring it up slowly. And we're within a couple degrees, so I called it good. He was pretty stressed out being in the cooler. So we'll do another update tomorrow, and we'll see how he's doing.